I'm Adrian Stratulat. I'm Executive Manager of the Romanian Blockchain Association. It's my pleasure to host this panel with the distinguished guests that we have. And I will start with some brief introductions. So we have Sebastian Cochinescu, founder and CEO at Tailpath, which is a blockchain-based system of tracking goods. Nice to have you, Sebastian.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
We have Bora Obucina, and I will apologize if I mangle some names. I'm doing my best here.
Okay.
Bora is a blockchain entrepreneur, an expert in nonverbal behavior, and the founder and CEO of CoreChain. And we have Eduard, Oneci, co-founder at ZoidPay, a full service platform, which is basically the first crypto contactless card. Sorry. I'm sure it's going to be a very interesting discussion. And also we have Vidal.
Pleasure to be here.
Sorry, yeah, lovely. We have Vidal Chriqui. Again, sorry if I did any mistake in the pronunciation. Founder and CTO for the BTU protocol, which is a leading protocol used by businesses to give back purchasing power to their customers, distribution partners, and employees. And last but not least, we have Mohd Shahnawaz, president of the Emirates chapter of Government Blockchain Association, which is basically the largest blockchain non-profit organization. They have over 50 chapters all across the world. And the topic for today is real-life blockchain applications. And to be honest, I'm very excited for this panel because everybody's talking about blockchain as a technology. A lot of people are interested to see how blockchain will develop, which are the latest infrastructure developments, how blockchain will scale up and things like that. But the truth is that up until recently, everybody was talking about blockchain from the perspective of cryptocurrencies. Only I would say in the past 2 years, we've seen some real life applications for the blockchain technology as an underlying blockchain layer and technological stack. So I would like to start with, let's say, some broader questions that everybody is free to pick them up. And I think this is the most, let's say, general one. Which do you think are going to be top 3 applications or the top 3 industries in which blockchain technology will be in the next 3 years? It's a free-for-all, guys.
So of course, I would say traceability or supply chain. That's a no-brainer, I guess. But I might be biased, right?
Yes, of course. But besides that, I'm sure you have quite an informated opinion.
Okay,
yeah, sure.
I agree with traceability, but I think also the complete fintech sector in banking, where we can automate a lot of processes, will be certainly one of the big topics coming up in the next couple of years.
Totally. I agree with this. Actually, right now, for ZoidPay, you said it's contactless payment solution, but we just started working with regulators and with banks to add a layer of blockchain infrastructure for banks in fiscal countries. So this is a main advantage for everyone there.
Yeah, that sounds really exciting.
For me, I would like to add, it's basically, adding to all of them, tokenization of assets. In government sector, we would love to see more applications that's happening right now in health sector, where there's for example, blood donators, they match the blood groups, and organ donations, they match using the donors and recipients using the blockchain. So it's disrupting as we're speaking in different sectors. And I would like to see, I'm seeing in government sector, in health sector, and also management of assets, and mainly cross-border payments, or not only cross-border, I mean even internal payments is going to disrupt the financial sector.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
perhaps to add there quickly something on it, as you said, on government and financial sectors, or the broad business sectors. We, during the COVID, because for me COVID was the biggest chief technical officer everywhere, and it drove tokenization, digitization of companies globally. really a lot. And we discovered during that period that there is an important lack of confidentiality during video conferences. And that's why we developed a remote voting tool where companies and governments or elections can be done remotely on an absolutely legal proof way. And I think those adaptations are things which will drive us in the future.
Yeah.
Sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add, I see two main topics. The first is DeFi, decentralized finance. I think it's an opportunity for end user to get access to some more efficient services. For instance, like saving accounts with better returns. So that's the first. That's leverage the power of blockchain of automatization, of removing some of the middlemen who cuts some benefits. And the second, for me, I see it's access to better and more efficient distribution channels. So that's what we are working on in my company. So on this topic, I'm more biased. So we are leveraging the blockchain to distribute some products to the end user with less middlemen. So we can, with this shorter path from the producer to the consumer, the end user will benefit from better prices. So, and the company benefits from better margins. So a more efficient distribution channel is important also. And this kind of application would be very interesting and more used in the next years.
To close the loop.
Kind of anticipated my questions a bit. I'm trying to let's say try to distribute the discussion to cover all the topics that we might have in this very rich panel. So one of the questions that I actually noted down because I was really curious about this. This is for you, Mr. Shahnawaz. So basically, or I would start with you, but then I would love to hear an answer from all of you. Which do you think are the most, let's say, impactful areas in which public administration might invest in blockchain technology, and how does public administration is different from the private sector in adopting blockchain technology? Please.
Well, I would love to quote Bill Smith. He said that if you're ready, you don't have to get ready. So what Dubai has done before the COVID-19, because now we are understanding the importance of digital transformation. Back in 2016 and 17, they realized it's important to digitally transform. So the government of Dubai initiated two strategies. One is a paperless strategy, another one is blockchain strategy. So what paperless strategy says is that by 2021, January 1st, 2021, no government entities should use paper. That means paper will become history and mystery. So blockchain strategy basically says that by 2021, 50% of the government entities must use blockchain in the application. So this mandate came from the government. So all the departments from police, land department, immigration, they started looking at different ways to implement blockchain in the application instead of waiting and studying the case studies, because blockchain, to be frank, it's complex, right? It's complex to deploy, and you had so much learning curve. So they started small. They started with Dubai Police was one of the first projects where you lose your passport. The person who lost a passport has to go like 8 different departments to get the passport back. So what they said that how can we reduce the timeline? So with sharing the information between different government departments. So it started small and they started building up. So what is that? With blockchain strategy, they not only focused on the application of blockchain in government sector, but also it's like they initiated private-public partnership where they partnered with different private companies in health sector mainly, where they match the. I'm going to talk more about later. It's donor blockchain, and also there's another blockchain project where they verify the authenticity of medicines.
Great.
So there's so many very, very interesting, almost close to 24 blockchain projects being implemented in Dubai. And that's why Dubai won the smartest and the first blockchain city in the world back in 2016. And how, the second question is how they're helping the private companies. Since the mandate is from top, they're doing many hackathons, the many exhibitions, they're funding, in different startups to discover how can blockchain, the trust, transparency, and traceability of blockchain can be implemented, and basically reduce what you call the middle layer, and make the government more efficient. So this is, I guess, I would get the views from other participants on this. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your answer. Now, moving a bit forward with how government might adopt, let's say, blockchain technology. This one is for Mr. Obucina. Your product, Divo, it tackles decision-making and voting processes. Do you think that we will see blockchain voting a reality in public elections in the foreseeable future?
Yeah, it will be in about 2 weeks.
That's great.
because we are working with very close with a political party in Switzerland, and they will have their board member meeting with us. We're just right now in the definition process. We have been heavily working on it, but it's not only for political parties, but it's also for companies. It's like I said before, you do have a problem as soon as you are remote working and you need to have some decision you can document or you can validate, and that's where blockchain technology enters. And I think political and government or elections are one of the big topics we can safeguard by using blockchain technology. But it's very important, perhaps, to what I heard from my colleagues before. They were talking about killing the man in the middle and blockchain technology. My belief is blockchain technology will be successful as soon as we stop explaining blockchain technology. Nowadays, many people are using smartphones. Nobody understands how a smartphone works. And as soon as we get to the same point with blockchain technology, where we just can adopt it and people stop trying to understand the technology, because to be honest, most of the people out there will never really understand blockchain technology. It's just okay if they start using it. And in the blockchain space, we should avoid talking about killing the man in the middle, because about 80% of the global people earning money are men in the middle. And if we tell we're going to kill them, they are going to fight us. If we're going to tell them we help you with the technology to have your business more smooth, frictionless, more successful, and you can gain more profit, then they will support us.
And speaking of profits, moving from, let's say, directly government or let's say democratic power to the other most important thing for people, for the average citizen, which is money basically, and how you deal with your financial system. This one is for Mr. Oneci and you guys at ZoidPay. So what I'm most curious about, when you're talking about the way that, let's say, the average citizen interacts with the cryptocurrency, your ecosystem is helping them interact in a much more fluid way. So it's creating liquidity and real usage in commerce for cryptocurrencies. So do you think that people perceive crypto assets, such as, for example, Bitcoin or Ethereum, as currencies, or do you think they perceive them as investment assets? Do they hodl them, or do they use it in commerce?
Well, that's a good question. Currently, they're hodling. So they perceive crypto as investment. But as my colleague said, if you can't beat the system, join the system. So that's why we started working with banks on this side. So we started with a solution that offers easy to integrate crypto payments for merchants online and in store. And we wanted to make a solution that's easier for the users to, let's say, pay with their crypto assets. So our whole, let's say, mindset was that innovation and adoption actually happens when you combine the old with the new. So it doesn't need to be a total shift in their behavior. It needs to be something like a learning curve. So we had the innovators at first, then the early adopters. So I can say that us as an industry were right between innovators and early adopters, because people don't understand blockchain. First of all, they only think that blockchain equals crypto, and it doesn't. Crypto is the finance of the blockchain ecosystem. So we shifted our mindset as a company. We started working with banks on slowly leveraging, let's say, a unified blockchain account inside the bank, so inside a financial institution that can hold both your digital assets, crypto, and your fiat account. So by mixing this, they will not make a separation between them. They will start to see crypto also as a method of payment.
Well, as we all know, there's a saying: you have a thesis, you have an antithesis, and then you have the synthesis, which leads to the hybrid system that we might all expect.
Yeah.
There are some currents in, let's say, in the crypto space that talk about Bitcoin maximalism and full decentralization. But as you are all aware, this is like a sub-flowing current. It's not the main train of thought, and we are mostly trying to, let's see how the traditional system, the traditional centralized system, might work together, just like you said, with the decentralized system. And now you talked about user experience, and that's a very interesting way because of seeing it, because you want to have users gain direct benefits from the experience that they have. They don't care about the underlying technology. They only care about the user experience. And now,
Exactly.
what I'm most curious about in let's say in the supply chain industry, this one is for you, Sebastian. How do you think that the blockchain-based tracking solutions that you guys have developed will change the user experience, the experience for the end user?
Okay, thank you for this question. Of course, usability and UX is very important. But before coming to that, I would like to say that according to a report from OECD, the illicit trade or the counterfeit goods amount for 3.3% of all world's trade. So that's a huge number. And unfortunately, people die because of that. Because, for instance, in the pharma supply chain, people use counterfeit drugs and then they actually die. Or did you know that there is 3 times more honey sold in the world than is produced? So 2/3 of that, of all honey produced all over the world is sold. It's actually fake. So to counter that, of course, we come in with our tech. As some other speakers just mentioned, it's not about actually the tech or the technology by itself. It's about trust. So the technology, the blockchain technology provides trust. And this is very important for the end user, coming to your question, because the end user will be able to see the provenance, to have a traceability system in place that he or she will know it is very secure, and they will be able to see it from the origin, from the raw materials up to the distribution centers, and then to production facilities, and to the actual product. They will see where it came from, what are the certificates added to that, and so on. So I guess before that, there are some interoperability problems to be addressed, such as it takes to move goods from one country to another around 30 stamps still. So before coming to blockchain, I guess there is a need for upgrading the current digital systems, or moving towards digital. So this is how it will impact, and we hope to spread it more. And because we really believe in what we do and we want to help out others, I will announce for the first time here at Virtual Blockchain Summit, and thank you for this opportunity, that Tailpath.com, our platform, is now free for all companies affected by COVID-19. So this will help spread the word, I guess, and spread the technology, and it will make it available for more and more companies. So no matter that your problem is about counterfeiting, or it's just that you need to show to your customers that you have a good provenance, you have good materials, your products are actually legitimate, you could use tailpath.com right now for free. So just come in and use it.
Excellent decision. We're really glad that you're supporting the economy in these days. You talked about also, I mean, the fact that, okay, user experience is critical, but we're also talking about trust, which is the main, let's say, advantage of the blockchain technology. But just like you said, we also need some strong, let's say, infrastructure, digital infrastructure, not only the first layer of the digital infrastructure, but also the infrastructure on which blockchain itself resides. So now I'm here curious about the BTU protocol. We have here the inventor, and Mr. Chriqui, there are many competing blockchain solutions for the financial and payment industry, to be honest, and this is a good thing. But what I really realized about what you have built is not only the technology is important, but also you managed to develop a very interesting and impressive ecosystem. So how important do you think is a strong ecosystem compared to a powerful technological stack? So you have the technical capability and you have the ecosystem. Which one is more important, or is there any one more important than the other? Sorry, you're on mute.
Yes, sorry. Yes, in fact, both are important, and one is giving growth to the other. So the technical stack is very important because it's a prerequisite before being able to integrate easily new partners. But the more important is the adoption. So here comes the ecosystem is about who is adopting. So if you have the technical background, then you can grow in your ecosystem. Otherwise you cannot grow. So both are really important. And what we have done in BTU protocol is just creating the financial infrastructure to allow some merchants to distribute their product more easily. So since since it's easy to be, so the technical part is easy to be integrated, then we can grow the ecosystem, and we have an ecosystem of merchants distributing their product over our technology. And the benefits is clear because we use the blockchain to incentivize user to come using these new channels. So I give you an example. If you book an hotel, for instance, through our system, the commission, part of the commission that used to go to the big distributors is given to the end user. So you have an incentive to come to this channel, and the hotel is happy because he can distribute it without any in this new infrastructure without any people taking more commission on it. So, and we've done this for hotels, but we've done this also for e-commerçants. So in France, we have a big merchant called Fnac, Darty. So all those big retailers can distribute in new channels, and that's we are building for them. And that's why they joined the ecosystem. It's because the technical infrastructure is ready and easy to ramp on.
Thank you very much for your answer. It seems that we're heading towards, let's say, an area in which we see that there's a confluence of both technology, mature ecosystems, and very good UX for the end user. And all of them, they show the fact that this technology, which was once fringe technology, is becoming mainstream. Now, in the end, because unfortunately I have a lot of questions, but there's not enough time, I will try to end with a question for all of you, and I would love to have an answer from each one of you. This is a topic which is very close to my heart because it's futuristic in many ways. What do you think about DAOs? Do you think there are a valid organizational model in the current technological capabilities? Do you think this is a kind of, let's say, a future in which we can have entities such as DAO, which in many ways are entirely decentralized, or do you think we're going to head more towards like the hybrid economy that we previously talked about?
Can I go first?
Please.
Yeah, because we are going to implement DAO. We're going to launch it by July because we have 50 chapters around the world. So for those audience who don't know what DAO is, DAO basically enables group of people, they coordinate together to achieve common goals, and they're bound by rules and regulations in smart contracts or codes in blockchain. So what DAO does is basically reduce the layer between governor and the governed. So it basically enables direct governance and also helps in representative governance. And main thing is that it incentivizes the participants.
Thank you very much for your answer. I'll have to catch you short because there's no time.
Okay. So what I would like to say is there are going to be many good implications from the government sector, private sector. Same have MakerDAO is doing in the central bank. You know, they're like central bank 3.0. And Aragon is doing for us nonprofit. We can coordinate with different people around the world, and those people who are really participating, they can get incentivized by tokens, and you know they can have more voting power. So what would happen is that it would really revolutionize the governance model. Yeah.
Great. I think there is unfortunately just one more answer. Time for one more answer. So please, which one of you wants to do?
I can try it. Yeah, I think it's the most fascinating use case of blockchain, and in the real world, it already exists. We have what we call the mutual. In the health insurance, we have mutual health, and I think it's the ultimate organization. Well, we still need to work a lot to find the right tuning for DAOs, but that's the more hope we can have for organizing the new web. We all know that the power in the web is trusted by few companies, and the only way to unbundle this power is to create a DAO where everybody can benefit and everybody can get an incentive to participate and is winning. So I think that's the most interesting new organization trends to see in blockchain, and it's definitely something to work on. And we have to every one of us has to work on it to get better DAOs and to find the right tunings for giving more implication from users. And
I would like to add that we are already working on the Blockchain in Transport Alliance in the US on standards that will be issued in blockchain in transport. So this is the first step towards DAOs.
That's good. I mean, a lot of great answers, and we ended in a very inspirational note. I'm really happy that we had the chance for this talk. I'm sorry that we haven't had any more time because the discussions were very interesting, and I'm sure we could have gone on for hours on the topic. Thank you very much, guys. It was a real pleasure to host this panel. Very interesting discussions about real world application, and thank you once again for being here.
Thanks, Adrian.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yes, bye-bye.